everyone, it's me again. I'm Lena and I'm from the Healthcare Landscape Group. In this video, I'm going to be talking about my main video about the endocrine system. Just an introductory video on the endocrine system. Now, we have been following our 10 weeks plan for the last 3 weeks, and now we're going to move on to another topic, which is the endocrine system. But it's also in the nervous system area. They both connect with each other to give out bodily functions. So we're in the same topic basically in the control part of my mind map a few months ago. And in this video, I'm going to talk about 3 main parts. The first part is the functions of the glands. The first part is the parts of the endocrine system. The second one is the functions of the endocrine system, and lastly is the functions of each of the glands, basically each of the parts that we have in the endocrine system. Now let's start with our first part, which is our parts of the endocrine system. Now, the endocrine system. What is the endocrine system? Well, the endocrine system is a system that carries out bodily functions, and it basically uses hormones, if you've ever heard of that before, and they transport it throughout our body to do some bodily functions, which I will talk later in our second part. But firstly, let's talk over the first part, the parts of the endocrine system. This includes the pancreas, the adrenal glands, the thyroid, parathyroid, pituitary glands, the hypothalamus, the testes, and the ovaries, and most importantly, the hormones, which is like the blood cells, the blood of the circulatory system. But now we have the hormones, so it's basically the cells of the endocrine system. Now, these are all the endocrine glands, and they secrete hormones, and these come in 2 types. The first one is water soluble, and the second one is lipid soluble, which is fat soluble. Lipid is fat. So that is all for the parts. How about the functions? Well, the functions of the endocrine system includes metabolism, which means that our body transforms the food into energy. Then we have reproduction, growth and development, mood, pressure, appetite, sleep, digestion and absorption, and also temperature. Now, I want to show you a few pictures of the parts of the endocrine system to show you where they are. And here are the pictures that I have prepared for our video. Firstly, we have the pituitary gland. This is also called the master gland because this is basically the brain of the whole endocrine system. And this is a tiny part, it's not even considered a part of the brain, but it sticks to the end of the brain. Here is the pituitary gland, and it is in our brain. It is connected to the brain, not necessarily a part of the brain. We also have the thyroid and parathyroid. Now, the thyroid gland is the gland that is shaped like a butterfly, and the parathyroid glands are the 4 little red circles around it. Now, this is not at the surface of the thyroid gland. It's actually in the thyroid gland. So it's not on the surface like we see here, it's actually inside. Then we have the pancreas, which is a part of the digestive system. We also have the adrenal glands, which is on top of our kidneys, the ovary, and the testicle, which depends. The male will have just a testicle or testes, and the female will have ovaries, both responsible for reproductive functions. And yeah. And I also have this too. These are some more detailed drawings. We have the pineal gland, the hypothalamus, the pituitary gland, parathyroid glands, thyroid gland, thymus, adrenal glands, the pancreas, kidneys, testes, and ovaries. That is for the second picture. Now, let's move on to the final part, which are the functions of the glands. Well, in this part, I'm going to cover 6 main main parts, 6 main glands of the endocrine system. This will include the pancreas, which makes hormones called insulin, and this will help to control blood pressure, blood sugar levels, or also called blood glucose levels. The thyroid, which is the butterfly-shaped organ, the butterfly-shaped gland, is responsible for secreting hormones that regulate the metabolic processes, which includes the metabolism. And then we have the adrenal glands. The adrenal glands will help to regulate metabolism, the immune system, blood pressure, and response to stress. So that is the function of the adrenal glands, right above our kidneys. Then we have the hypothalamus, which is also in our brain, and this helps to control the water balance in our body, sleep, temperature of our body, and also blood pressure. The pituitary gland, also known as the master gland of the endocrine system, is responsible for producing hormones that carry out bodily functions, like we've discussed over in the functions part, which includes the metabolism, growth, and development, reproduction, mood, blood pressure, appetite, sleep, digestion, and absorption, as well as temperature. So that is for the pituitary gland. Now for our testes and ovaries. Now our testes and ovaries will again secrete hormones, because every gland will secrete hormones that will help in reproduction. For example, for the male, we have the testes or the testicles. This will help to reproduce the sperm. It will produce the sperm, and for the ovaries in the female, they will produce the egg, which, if they combine together, will make a baby, which is how we are formed. That is for the functions of the glands. How about some fun facts and a code also? Well, one fun fact is the pancreas is a bridge between two worlds. What are those two worlds? Well, there are two types of glands, the exocrine and endocrine glands. Now, before we continue with the fun fact, I'll need to tell you about what is the exocrine and endocrine glands. Well, the exocrine glands release hormones through ducts. For example, salivary glands, some sweat glands, mammary glands, and those are some examples of exocrine glands. So it travels through ducts. But in contrast of the exocrine glands, we have the endocrine glands, which release hormones without ducts and into its surroundings and the bloodstream. Now let me show you one example picture of this. Firstly, we have the exocrine glands, and here for the exocrine and endocrine glands, it will blood in the capillaries, and hormones are secreted into the blood, so it does not have any ducts whatsoever. And for the exocrine, here's the chemical secretion, the skin surface, and the chemicals produced by the gland. So as you can see, there's a duct, but in this, there's no ducts. This surface to the skin, which is actually the sweat glands, for example. And some examples of that, we will have the exocrine and endocrine. For the exocrine, we have the sweat glands, the mammary glands, and for the endocrine glands, we have the thymus, the parathyroid, some testes, ovaries, pituitary glands, all of those things that we have discussed about, the parts of the endocrine system. And that is for what is the exocrine and endocrine glands. Now, moving back on our fun facts, the exocrine and endocrine glands. The pancreas has both endocrine and exocrine functions. Well, it both have ducts and without ducts, so it carries hormones in two different ways. And it is the only gland in the endocrine system that can do it with that. It's special. It's a special gland. Then we have our code. which is the hormones get no respect. We think of them as the elusive chemicals that makes us a bit moody. That's true. The hormones do make us a bit moody in times of stress. But these magical little molecules do so much more. This quote is from Suzuna Cahalan. And yes, this quote is totally true. It helps us, though it may help us with, may make us moody at times, especially for girls who hit their period sometimes, but they do help us with bodily functions, various bodily functions that help us to survive and be who we are. I have one more thing to discuss about. I want to discuss about which are the differences and similarities of the nervous system and the endocrine system. Now, at the beginning of the video, you might have noticed I said that the endocrine system is in the nervous system. It's in the same part. So how are they similar and how are they different? Well, the nervous system, here's the nervous system, that sends electrical impulses are the messengers in the nervous system, while the hormones are the chemical messengers in the endocrine system that target cells through the bloodstream. Here is the picture of the nervous system and the endocrine system. Now, the nervous system relies on electrical impulses and it transports by nerve cells. Transported by nerve cells spread almost instantly. We have an instant response, and this will typically last only a second or two. The effects last shortly. How about the endocrine system? Well, it relies on hormones which are secreted by glands. Then it is transported by the bloodstream into the blood and spread more slowly. Therefore, its effects are long-lasting in contrast of the nervous system. Those are the differences. How about the similarities? Now, the similarities includes it will help to control, coordinate, and integrate various physiological processes and activities of our body, like I said in the functions part. And that is all that I have to say for my video today and in this week, which is about introduction to the endocrine system. I do hope that you learned something new from this video, or just review some of the knowledge that you have acquired from some sources, other sources. But that is all that I have to say for my video this week. I hope that I appreciate your time and attention, and goodbye. Thank you again. See you soon.